Namaste, Hemesha Kushwa Bitiya. I am JV and Dr. Meenakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Shalakya Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. In today's session, we will discuss the complications and sequelae of anti-uveitis. In the previous session, we have discussed the anti-uveitis, its clinical picture, clinical presentation, the symptoms, the signs, and now in today's session we will discuss the complications and sequelae of the anti-uveitis. Um, First complication is the complicated cataract. It is a common complication of iridocyclitis, and they may develop as a complication of persistent iridocyclitis. And we have already discussed that typical feature of a complicated cataract in early stage are the polychromatic luster and breadcrumb appearance of early posterior subcapsular opacities. In the presence of posterior synecdoche, the complicated cataract progresses rapidly to maturity. Then second complication is the secondary glaucoma. It may occur as an early or late complication of iridocyclitis. In early glaucoma, in the active phase of the disease, the presence of exudates and inflammatory cells in the anterior chamber may cause the clogging of the trabecular meshwork, resulting in the decreased aqueous drainage and thus a rise in intraocular pressure. It is also known as the hypertensive uveitis. Then late glaucoma and iridocyclitis, which is also known as the post-inflammatory glaucoma, is the result of pupil block or seclusio pupillae due to the ring synecdoche formation or occlusio pupillae due to organized exudates. And they may or may not be associated peripheral anterior synecdoche formation. And this late glaucoma will not allow the aqueous to flow from the posterior chamber to the anterior chamber. Then next complication is the cyclitic membrane. It results due to the fibrosis of due to the organization of exudates present behind the lens. There is the fibrosis of the exudates present behind the lens. It is a late complication of acute plastic type of iridocyclitis. The next complication is a choroiditis. It may develop in prolonged cases of iridocyclitis owing to their continuity. Then next complication is the retinal complication. These include the cystic macular edema, macular scar, macular hole, epiretinal membrane, exudative retinal detachment, secondary periphlebitis retinae, retinal scars, and subretinal fibrosis. Then next complication is the papillitis, the inflammation of the optic disc. It may be associated in severe cases of iridocyclitis. The next complication is a band-shaped keratopathy. It occurs as a complication of long-standing chronic uveitis, especially in children having the Still's disease. In the lower right lower image, you can see the band-shaped keratopathy. Then next complication is the thysis bulbi. Thysis bulbi, the final stage in which the end result of any form of chronic uveitis. The eye becomes soft, shrunken, and atrophic. And there is a stage of atrophic bulbi without shrinkage. The initial stage of loss of function of ocular tissues which occur due to continued inflammation and loss of nutritional support. In this stage, the shape of globe is maintained, the vision is completely lost, lens becomes cataractous, retina develops serous detachment and atrophic changes, IOP raised in early stages due to inflammatory glaucoma. Then there is a stage of atrophic bulbi with shrinkage, which occurs due to continued ciliary body dysfunction. In this stage, IOP is lowered, cornea becomes edematous and vascularized, anterior chamber is collapsed, eyeball becomes small and quadrangular, which is maintained by the four recti. Then next is the atrophic bulbi with disorganization, the thysis bulbi. The final stage is due to continued disorganization of ciliary body. In this stage, the IOP is markedly lowered, size of eyeball is markedly lowered, and cornea becomes sclera-like. The there is a histopathological examination reveals the disorganization of all intraocular tissues. Calcification may occur in the Bowman's layer or cornea, lens, and retina, and intraocular ossification may occur due to metaplasia in the retinal pigment epithelium. Sclera becomes markedly thickened. Then we come to the differential diagnosis. The anti-uveitis should be differentiated from the acute red eye. The acute iridocyclitis must be differentiated from other causes of acute red eye, especially acute congestive glaucoma and acute conjunctivitis. Then next, the granulomatous versus non-granulomatous uveitis. Once diagnosis of iridocyclitis is established, an attempt should be made to know whether the condition is of granulomatous or non-granulomatous type. The main clinical differences between the two are summarized in this table. The granulomatous uveitis onset is insidious, whereas the onset of non-granulomatous uveitis is acute. Pain in granulomatous uveitis is minimal, whereas pain in non-granulomatous uveitis is marked. The photophobia is the granulomatous uveitis slide, whereas in case of non-granulomatous uveitis, there is marked photophobia. In granulomatous uveitis, there is minimal ciliary congestion, whereas in non-granulomatous uveitis, there is marked ciliary congestion. In case of granulomatous uveitis, the keratic precipitates are mutton fat type, whereas in the non-granulomatous uveitis, the keratic precipitates are small. In granulomatous uveitis, they are mild aqueous flare, whereas in non-granulomatous uveitis, there are marked aqueous flare. Iris nodules are usually present in granulomatous uveitis, whereas the iris nodules are absent in non-granulomatous uveitis. The posterior synapse in granulomatous uveitis thick and broad-based, whereas the posterior synapse non-granulomatous uveitis is thin and tenuous. And the fundus in the granulomatous uveitis has nodular lesions. And whereas in case of non-granulomatous uveitis, there is diffuse involvement of the fundus. Next image, there are the clinical signs of anti-uveitis, the both form, the acute form and the chronic form. In acute form, there are the focal posterior synapse, circumcorneal flush, copies nodules, few capies, and the other granulomatous uveitis and button fat capies, copies nodules, Bokassa's nodules, band keratopathy, anterior capsular pigment, mild or no injection, and posterior synecdoche and posterior subcapsular opacity. So these all things will be seen in case of anti-uveitis. Then comes the management part of uveitis, which we'll discuss in the next session. Thank you so much. This session is powered by digital version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you're satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you so much.